Good morning, sisters. Good morning. It's Sunday, the 11th of October here in Sedona, Arizona. And today's talk is the resurrection of peace, transforming fear into love. And I hope that this finds you well, whether you're watching this live or whether you show up later on. We are in big waves of change in this message. Hey, Pat, good morning. Thank you so much for coming today, dear. Thank you, sisters who are coming on the line. I'm a little discombobulated this morning because I woke up late, and that's part of what I'm going to be talking about today is this whole theme of resurrection, peace, fear, and love. Because I've been having some intense guidance and dreams and working through some heavy stuff. So I'm excited to share it with you, even though I'm in a very mellow mood right now because I've just woken shortly a little while ago. Good morning, Evelina. Welcome. Good afternoon to you. Okay, so let's begin with a little grounding and centering as more sisters come on the line, and then we'll dive in to see what wants to come forward today. So I welcome you to, I really do look like an Ishka Bibbles today. I'm a little all cockeyed and lopsided hair. Anyway, please forgive me. But I feel that my sleepiness is actually going to be beneficial to what wants to come through today. So we'll see how that goes. Hi, Rosemary. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's begin. Go ahead, and if you're comfortable to do so. Hi, Allison. Good morning. If it's safe to do so, you can close your eyes. And I want to invite you to put both hands on the heart today. So today we're going to do a little breathing from the heart. And as you inhale, I want you to breathe in acceptance into the heart space, expanding acceptance into the heart space, self-acceptance, acceptance of what is. And as you exhale, open the hands and offer love, sending out love, just generally emanating love. And now breathe in again, hands on the heart space. Breathe in peace. And let the calmness of the breath of life bring peace to your heart. And exhale, opening up the hands to offer peace. And there may be someone or someones that you want to offer that to, or just generally emanating peace. And again, breathing in, hands on the heart. Now breathe in love. And as you exhale, open the hands and exhale love. Again, maybe offering it to someone who arises for your awareness, or just generally offering love. And again, hands on the heart, breathing in. And now as you exhale, dropping that energy down into the sacral area, offering some love to the womb space and the belly. Maybe place your hands now on the belly. And again, hands up to the heart, breathing in love, acceptance, and peace into the heart space. Exhaling, dropping the hands down to the belly and offering that love and peace and acceptance to the belly, to the womb space, to your sacred feminine energies. Good. Now one hand on the heart, one hand on the womb. Breathe in, draw in the life force energy. And as you exhale, imagine that you're going to release everything out the root chakra, opening up and dropping out all distractions, fears, concerns of the day. Release through the root chakra. And again, hand on the heart, hand on the womb, receiving the breath of life as you breathe in, seeing it as light coming into the body and picking up any energetics of sticky distress or distraction or anything at all that you don't want, that doesn't serve you, known and unknown. And exhale and let all that energy drop out the root, offering it back to Mother Earth for transmutation. Good. We're going to do one more like that. Hands on the womb space and the heart, one hand on each. Breathing in, receiving the light and the life force energy. And on the exhale, let that exhale take with it anything and everything that does not serve your full present awareness here now. Thank you. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you, sisters, for being here. Good morning, Janelle. Good to have you here. That's nice to see you here today, dear. Welcome to the other sisters, too, who haven't maybe said hello, but you're here with us. Good to have you here. Thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your day on this Sunday morning for me and wherever it is for you to spend a little time together. And I do have a message for you today, and the resurrection of peace, transforming fear into love is the theme. So I just want to take a little sip here, and then I'm going to tune in. There's a bunch of things I can share with you, but let me just see what wants to come forward or how it wants to come forward. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start with fear. And I'm curious if anyone else here is dealing with fear or anxiety in your life, because I'm having another interesting dance with it myself. And this is something I've dealt with on and off in my life, but I'm so resourced right now in my life in terms of tools, spiritual tools, that I don't have a reason to stay stuck in fear anymore. And so what's happening is it's arising for me in the middle of the night, and it's not attached to anything else. Hi, Amy, welcome. So it's been many nights in a row right now. And what happens for me is this: I wake up to have to pee. I mean, that's been happening since I gave birth, since I was pregnant many years ago. I wake up and I go to the bathroom, and then I come back into bed, and all of a sudden I can feel it in my heart space. Like I start to feel this anxiousness. And this is something, like I said, I've dealt with this before in the past in my life, but those were times when I was not as resourced materially, spiritually, emotionally. And so the ego mind would take that ball and run with it and find things to fuss and worry about. And it took me a lot of years to work on that and really not have that anymore. But it's happening again lately. And I mean, I can't help but ignore the fact that there's so much fear on the planet right now that, of course, it would make sense that I would tap into it. But I really feel like if I'm dealing with it, it's mine too. And what needs to be witnessed here? What needs to be presenced or witnessed, to see, to honor, rather than just instantly turning to my spiritual tools to get out of that feeling. So what I've been doing is I've been just presencing with the fear, because I know my rational mind knows, like, look, there's nothing for me to be afraid of right now. I'm an eternal divine being created by love, for love. I've chosen to be on the planet at this time to facilitate this great awakening. The 3D world is having great tumult, and many people are struggling right now, whether it's the fires in the west coast of the US or the deep, controls happening in certain parts of the world, including the US. And here in the US, of course, there's elections, there's rioting, there's a lot to be fearful of. But I feel like for myself, like I'm in a pretty good place. So even on the 3D level, like Arizona's a pretty safe state right now. We're in a quiet little town. We have a little bit extra food and water stored. I mean, there's nothing for me to be afraid of. I have a man who loves me. I have a steady revenue stream. There's none of that for the ego to attach onto and then start to worry about and anxiety about. So I'm like, if this is happening, I have to witness it first before I start using my tools to then come to more peace, which I do very quickly. And those are the tools that I teach, by the way, in Priestess Alchemy. And this is not, I mean, I didn't even think of that when I came up with the topic for today. But truly, this is why I teach Priestess Alchemy and why we're doing it again starting on the 19th, is very much because I want to offer my sisters the tools that I use to get out of fear, to stay calm, to stay aligned with my spiritual purpose, to stay connected with my guides and all of that. But I really feel like, for me anyway, I needed to witness, what is this about? And I can't say I have a conclusive answer yet. But what I can say is that the witnessing of that fear alone has been a powerful way for me to allow myself to just be where I'm at, if that makes sense. To just be where I'm at, to just give myself full loving acceptance and permission to be where I'm at in those moments in the dark of the night when I feel fear and I feel just this sort of heart palpitation. Now, after witnessing it for a bit, I go into my tools. I go into clearing my chakras and doing my light activation and meditating and praying and bringing light into my body, and it all dissipates. So I'm at a point where I know what the tools are to be able to get beyond it. But I feel like there's something that's being asked to be acknowledged. And that's why I'm wondering, is anyone else dealing with this here? And maybe, you know, those of you who watch later on will have that. You know, is this something that you're dealing with somewhere in your life where you're feeling fear, where fear rises, and, you know, how are you navigating it? So as I said, for me, I'm witnessing it first. And good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Judith. Good morning, Beth. And so this morning I was like, well, what do I want to share about that? Because I don't exactly know what it is. I mean, I know I'm going through a Pluto transit, and that every time I go through a heavy Pluto transit astrologically, and I've been through some doozies in my life, not everyone has to go through this many, anxiety is one of the things that comes up. So I'm really looking at that astrologically. But I'm also feeling like there is a way in which, as part of the one, because we really are all one, I am feeling also that collective fear and angst, and alchemizing it by allowing it first and then using my tools to transmute it. Okay, so by feeling it and witnessing it without judgment, without pushing it away, or without letting the ego jump on the bandwagon of giving me all the evidence of why I should stay in anxiety for the whole day. Because that's the other option, right? So I feel like this is also part of this priestess work, is that we actually sometimes are alchemizing things for the collective. And we wouldn't be able to do that if we didn't have some way in which it was a resonant match for us. So it doesn't excuse us from doing our own work, so to speak, to look at what else for me needs to be witnessed. So, hey, Becky, good morning. I'm not sure if your oh yes is that you're also experiencing some fear or anxiety, but if you are, then you're going to appreciate this. So anyway, okay, so where are we at here? So as a one experiencing an experience of separation, there's all kinds of things going on for people. And as those who came to bring the light, we are being asked to heal and clarify our own energies of trauma, of fear, of separation beliefs, of hatred, of all of those obstructions to love's presence. And the more we do it, the more we can facilitate alchemizing it for the collective. Not because it's not giving people a permission slip to not do their own work. It's literally part of our light work, you could say. So we have to also look at where it is that is true for us. So I'll share with you, some of you may know this, I'm adopted. And I was adopted into a loving family. But there were 6 weeks from the time I was born. And back in 1965, they didn't have all this conscious birthing and parenting and adoption and all that stuff. They just basically pulled the baby out, cut the cord, take her away from the mother, put her in it, whatever, the little baby bin there. And baby bin, that just came to me. And eventually went to a foster home for 6 weeks for whatever reason, I don't know, even though my parents had already been vetted and qualified. So I really feel like there's a part of me that, part of why I have dealt with anxiety in my life, mostly in the middle of the nights, I have a feeling it's from there. I have a feeling it's from that infant experience because I can't access it. But it can rise so strong. And even after all these years with all these tools, so that I don't let my ego run away with worrying about things. And I don't immediately go to my spiritual tools to ignore it and suppress it. It's so intense. So I'm like, okay, I'll just witness it, and then, and I'm going to be working with a sister priestess shaman to go deeper now with this piece, because I see now that this is a thread that comes with me through my life. So being able to work with whatever our wounds are, heal them by witnessing and integrating them, and then allowing ourselves, when stuff comes up, to do some alchemy for the collective, and then use our tools to go into our power energy space. I don't know, I feel like there's something here that's it's a combination of energies that is part of maybe our work. And so let me see what someone said here. Allison said, yes, in the middle of the night, my mind will start racing. I'll use breath work and clear my chakras to help me get back to sleep. Also, I've been having very vivid and informative dreams. Yes. Yeah, that's great, Allison. Yeah, in the middle of the night. And I remember last week when we got together, many of you said that you're waking up at 3 a.m. And I was telling you that 3 a.m. in Chinese medicine, I believe, is the hour of grief. The hour of grief. So we're doing a lot of work right now, whether it's through these incredible dreams that Allison is having, through waking up in the middle of the night and having anxiety like me, or just waking up and mind racing, not sleeping, and maybe for some of you just sleeping like a baby. There's a lot going on in the energetic realms that we're dealing with. So I pulled some cards today and I wanted to share them with you. That's where the whole idea of resurrection comes. So I'm going to share the first card with you now. And this is, let me get it, the Crone of Seas. And this is the sign of Scorpio. And so I really felt like this is me right now in the middle of the night. My hair is all wild and cockeyed, and it's dark, and I'm resurrecting, bringing back up from the shadows of the deep old wounds, but also resurrecting my own light. Scorpio, see that little glyph right there? That's Scorpio. Scorpio is the energy that digs beneath to find what's buried and hidden. And Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which is the lord of the underworld archetypally. And when you have a Pluto transit, Pluto is asking you to transform or transmute however you had done that energy before. So right now for me, I have Pluto transiting my ascendant. So there's a digging out of all that buried material to say, what are you doing by habit, by rote? What fears are buried under there that are holding you back? And so Pluto transits can be very difficult, but they're incredibly gift-giving if you do the work. So I feel like there's a way in which the priestesses, certainly, and many others, are doing the deep inner work right now in order to resurrect the light that we will need to come into the new earth. So I'm curious if any of you relate to this image or this theme. Please let me know in the messages. And then the other card I got was Zhou Shuangjing. I think that's how you pronounce her. Zhou Shuangjing, the mystic of peace. I am peace. When my mind is clear, the way is clear. So this addresses what Allison said, and certainly what I've experienced so much in my life, of the racing mind. When the mind races so much that you can't be peace because the ego is. So again, going back to the priestess alchemy, and the tools I teach are to bring in the peaceful mind. And that peace, that ability to come to peace, is the alchemy, if you will. The way that we take what had been fearful or traumatizing, or again, for me, it's literally just like this racing fear that has no connection to anything in my life. And go from that And instead of the default setting as it used to be, letting the ego mind take over and show me all the reasons why I should continue with that energy, actually using my tools to come back to that peace, to allow me to resurrect my light by allowing, witnessing, presencing with that fear or anxiety, that shadow material, Scorpio, Pluto, and then rising up. The crone is the wise woman. So this is my 4th heavy Pluto transit in my life, and it's squaring my ascendant for any of my astrologer sisters here. This one I come to with the wisdom of the crone. This is the one I come to now with the wisdom of the elder. The other ones, the racing mind, the inability to find peace, were much more there. So I just wanted to share this message with you just as a way to kind of connect in. And if any of you are dealing with, anxiety or inexplicable racing mind or waking in the night, my invitation is to first witness without judgment, without having to identify with it being you, and then not let the ego mind keep showing you all the images and reasons why you should continue with this fear, but instead pivot and use the Priestess Alchemy tools or other tools that you have to get back to that place of peace. So let me see what else. So Janelle says, lately experiencing a triangle-shaped symmetrical rash from jawline down to solar plexus. Wow, physicians don't know what is causing it, but I think I'm processing, alchemizing for stuff. Indeed, indeed. It sounds like, anytime we have physical manifestation of any kind, it's an energy that we've already been running at the energetic level for a long time, because physical form is dense. It takes a while for it to manifest. And the body is very literal. So you can look at, what's the rash? What is it itchy? What's itching you? So if it's here all the way down through the chest and heart into the solar plexus, that's the throat, the heart, solar plexus. So what's happening in there with you? I believe you're a singer, correct? So how is the singing from your heart connecting to all of this in your personal will? These are just some things to look at. I hope you don't mind me offering that. And then Sharon says, oh boy, I do. I'm heading to a Saturn return in Aquarius, plus Pluto is transiting your sun sign. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's a big one. When Pluto transits the sun in about 4 years, I'm going to have Pluto squaring my sun. So when Pluto really asks us to do the deep inner work, full stop. When we don't do the deep inner work and we have a heavy Pluto transit, like an opposition, a conjunction, or a square to an inner planet like your sun, your moon, your Venus, Mars, Mercury, it's tough. It's really hard. Pluto says transform or suffer. So I invite you to really, lean into those places and get assistance, get help, get insights as you can. So Janelle says, yes, singer, and thank you. Yeah. So, Pluto aspecting the sun is the integration of your solar identity is asking to be transformed. How you shine your light, you could say, in a very simple way. There's a lot more to it than that, as you know. And then, of course, the second Saturn return. My husband's also getting ready for that one next year, I think it is. Right now? No, soon. He is. It's just coming in. And that can be a real blessing if you've been doing your work too, because that's when you start to receive the gifts of maturity and all of that. So it really, again, it depends. But anyway, sisters, I don't want to go too deep into an astrological geek out for those sisters who are not into astrology. Of course, I am an evolutionary astrologer. So if you ever want to do astrology with me, I'd love to work with you. In the meantime, though, I do invite you to really feel into this concept of the resurrection of the light and where the places in you that need to be healed or resurrected by accepting them, witnessing them, not running off on a tangent about fear around them, and also really using those tools, that the spiritual tools that you have, to come back to the place of peace so that you don't get railroaded by fear in these times. So resurrecting, the resurrection of peace and transforming fear into love is really the nature of our work in these times, both individually and in service to the collective. So as always, I thank you for all inner work that you do, all the work that you do to become a shinier light, a more self-accepting, self-loving person. All of that really does help you, your own soul's evolution, and of course serves the collective. We need the light very much right now. We are heading into a period of even greater tumult and confusion, especially for those of us here in the States, but probably elsewhere as well, where there may be some frightful disclosures and other information coming through and conflict, etc. So the more that we can resurrect peace in our hearts and transform the fear into love, the more we are able to stand strong, grounded, loving, compassionate, and in support of the many sisters and brothers on the planet who just don't have that luxury. So again, I thank you for your work, for your sacred work. It is sacred, sacred, sacred work. And I thank you for being with me on this morning. And I wish you a beautiful week ahead. Sharon says, can't wait for Priestess Alchemy again. Yes, me too. And one final thing, I'm actually going away this week. I'll be back for next Sunday, though. I'm going into the forest more deeply, and I'm going to be staying at a place, a cabin that does not have Wi-Fi. And I'm really looking forward to this. Now, we've been turning our Wi-Fi off every night again, and I recommend that you do that too. But I really want to get completely out of that Wi-Fi field for several days. So I'll be doing that. I'll be back for next week and for Sunday. And then, of course, we start Priestess Alchemy on Monday, the following Monday. So a week from tomorrow. So if any of you have not registered yet and you want to, I would love to have you, of course. And either way, thank you for being with me every Sunday. Thank you for your sacred work. I wish you a beautiful week and many blessings. And we'll see you in the Facebook group a little bit this week, Monday certainly. And then again at the end of the week. Okay, my dears, much love to you. Mwah. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for your good wishes. Thanks, I will.